Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Welcome into another edition of Inside Automotive right here at the CBT Automotive Network.
CBT News, your number one resource for auto industry news and content. You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining me this morning for another edition of Inside Automotive right here at cbtnews.com. Look who I have here with me, Mr. Adam Marburger. You know him. He is the CEO and founder of Ascent Dealer Services. He's also the host of our wildly popular training camp show right here at CBT News. So thank you and for all the time you've given us on producing your, hosting your show. And you do such a good job at it. You've had some incredible visitors to the show and guests to the show. And we get so many great comments whenever we air the shows. So thanks so much for all the content.
So it's an honor and privilege. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I just want to be you one day, Joe.
No, you don't want to be me. No. So we haven't really caught up much since NADA, which was just a couple of months ago now. Here we are in the first week of the last month of the quarter in March of 2025. And as you know, about the 23rd or 24th of January was NADA. We haven't caught up too much. So what were some of the takeaways for you? What were some of the buzzwords that you heard, and what are dealers focusing on as they try to maximize their profits from F&I?
Couple pieces of that. Here's one thing that I noticed is we make things happen in automotive because that snowstorm really screwed a lot of us up.
Oh yeah,
it was
no question.
But we're resilient.
Right.
Automotive people are the strongest, toughest people on the planet.
Yeah.
So I just
clearly all that we've been through, right? Oh
my God. And I was talking to somebody. It was down. I think the number was 31%. So there's a lot of people talk like, oh, nobody went. No, that's bullcrap. A lot of people still went. We made the most of it.
Yeah.
But the common theme. Well, the common buzzwords, margin compression.
Okay.
We're talking about we're going to sell more new cars. We're starting to sell more cars, but the profits just aren't what they used to be. So then that feeds into what I do for a living.
Right.
Where are we going to make that up?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to make it up in fixed ops, and we're going to definitely make it up in F&I. So the buzzwords, margin compression. Now we're talking about F&I. How do we pick up? Because we're going to have to. There's more pressure on F&I, I think, this year than a very long time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure.
Oh, no question about it. So where should a dealership, what should the average dealership be out there? Whether it's a Toyota store, a Chevy store, what should the benchmark be? Is it $1,500 a copy, $2,000, $2,500? At what point in time do you feel as though that F&I department's knocking the cover off the ball, or hey, there's another $500 or $1,000 that can be picked up?
That's a great question, and I'm going to answer that question to the best of my ability.
The reason I ask is because it was asked of me, of a dealer that said, hey, ask Adam next time he's in, where should my F&I department be?
We'll talk broad, but you can't compare the Detroit Metro Chevy dealer to the dealer in St. Louis.
Okay.
It's a different market, right? You're getting 80%, 90% of your transactions are lease, family deals, and you're not going to make the spread on that. But let's speak broad here. I think that number now is $2,000. $2,000.
Yeah.
I think $2,000 is the number.
Yeah.
If you're in an ultra luxe store, I mean, can you get 3 to 4? Of course, and you can do that. But we're talking broad terms, every day, every man car. $2,000 a rattle's kind of that number now.
Yeah, for sure. And when you tell your clients, the clients that you work with around the country, what you want them to focus on in the second quarter of the year, what is it you really want them to hone in on?
Communication. So what I'm focusing on and what I'm challenging my dealers to focus on, slow down a little bit. Let's get everybody rowing in the same direction. Let's communicate really, really well. And let's have a legitimate training regimen that we're all a part of together. Okay. So if you've got everybody rowing in the same direction, singing the same song, and there's consistent training, we're all building the same house together. Right. So everything flows nicely. If there's disconnect, there's no training, there's no communication, it's wild. Right. West. Right. So it's communication, structure, and training.
Yeah. I got into F&I very early on in my career, and I will tell you that was in the early 80s. And I went to F&I school. In fact, I went to 2 F&I schools. I went to Pat Ryan, and I also went to JM&A. Okay, great schools, great training. When I got back from these 2 different events, and they were about a month apart, but the dealer said, "There's some things I like about JM&A, and there's some things I like about Pat Ryan at the time, and I want you to go to both of them, right?" And I did. And then I never saw training again. As an F&I manager, I was in it for about 4 years. That happens often, doesn't it? Where it's like, okay, the person's been trained, they're now an F&I manager, but I never had, the ongoing training that I could count on. And you need that, right?
It's critical. And there's trainers and there's coaches.
Yeah.
So we call ourselves professional coaches. Your trainer may show up once a month, hand a business card, bring some donuts, and maybe do some word track drilling, and then you won't see them for a month, right?
Right.
But then there's coaches that are intimately connected. They understand who you are, what you're trying to accomplish. They understand your family.
Yeah.
They understand what your goals and aspirations are.
Right.
They understand your personality type. How do you learn? So as a coach, you meet people where they are.
Right.
Okay. And then you want to get them to where they're destined to go. Right.
Sure.
So you just said something that is so true. That happens, Jim.
I know.
There are stores out there. There are dealers that are desperately seeking training from their providers.
Yeah.
And they're not getting it.
I know.
And it's criminal.
Is it because sometimes those companies, and I'm painting with a broad brush here, I'm not zeroing in on any one particular provider out there, and there's a lot of good ones, but sometimes they get so big that you got 1,000 dealerships, you got 1,500 dealerships, 2,000 dealerships nationwide or more. You can't have enough trainers to take care of all those stores,
Agreed,
right?
100%.
And all those F&I managers.
Yeah. So I like to talk about this. So, those big ships, those cruise lines.
Yeah.
They don't turn real quick, right?
Not very nimble.
And they get so big, and they care about their stockholders and their shareholders and their bottom line profits, and they forget about the people that got them there.
That's right.
I like to look at. I'm not even going to endorse my company, but there's a lot of companies like mine.
Sure.
I like to say we're a center console.
Yeah.
We're big boats, sexy boats, fast, nimble, quick. I always want to be big enough where I can service everything, but I want to be small enough to actually care.
Yeah.
And I think what happens to some of these companies, they get so big, they stop caring.
Yeah. They forget to your point, they forgot what got them there, right? They're in these ivory towers and they don't understand sometimes what the dealer and the F&I manager is going through on the front line, closing those deals in the box, right?
Yeah. And dealers too deserve. The way I look at this, I don't care where the dealer gets their F&I products. Whether it's the OEM or a big box insurance company or the agency model like mine, I don't care where they get them.
Sure.
Wherever the dealer gets their F&I products, that product provider has an obligation and a due diligence to serve the dealer and to grow that dealer.
Right.
And if they're not, that's a criminal offense.
How often should training take place in your F&I department for F&I managers? Is it a weekly? Is it a monthly? Is it a quarterly event? What should that look like?
Well, I think it's daily. We coach our people to train daily. Now, our teams, we're in our stores every month.
Yeah.
We do weekly virtual calls twice a week. We do one-on-one calls with each F&I person.
Wow.
So we're
pretty
in the
comprehensive.
store. Yeah, but we can't be there all the time.
Yeah.
So we put training regimens in place, and then we hold people accountable to make sure they're training on their own.
Right.
We want to give our F&I people the tools to kind of help themselves too.
Sure.
So we want our people training on a daily basis.
Right. Now I know you heard these two letters out there during your time at NADA this year. We did 41 interviews at the CBT stage, and everybody's talking about AI. Okay. What role is AI playing, and what is it going to play in the F&I department?
I am excited for this. So I don't have the answer on where it's going because it's over my head.
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
But
You'd have to go to AI to ask, where's it going, right?
It is phenomenal. AI, embrace AI, embrace AI. It helps you with your training content. It's super smart, and you can train AI.
Yeah.
It's insane. But here's where it's going. I partnered with a deal. I'm not going to endorse the company here, but I partnered with a company that it's an AI tool that records the transaction.
Okay.
Just the audio.
Okay.
And it basically checks all the boxes. So basically, as a coach, I tell the AI what my process is.
Wow.
And so you get a transcript after every transaction.
That's
it shows
cool.
where the F&I person skipped. What did they say? What did you say? It tells you everything you need to know. So there's a two-pronged approach. Number one, as an F&I producer, I could sit down and go, oh God, I screwed that up. Oh shoot, I should have said that, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you don't even know what you said.
Don't know what you said. But then it gives the coach,
Right.
the product provider, whoever your product provider is, it gives them ammo to sit down and go, all right, here's 10 transactions. This is what we're working on.
Yeah.
You can fix problems quickly. AI, it's coming.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know what I am. I'm excited. It's something we should embrace, though.
Yeah.
We should be running from it.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And dealers have, many dealers that I've spoken to are embracing it. They see that as the future of the auto industry. Although there are some outliers that go, AI, I've been selling cars, for the last 40 years, and it's not going to change my daily routine and how many cars I get over the curb. And I think they're short-sighted on that, aren't they?
There, you will always have, and I don't know if it's 10% of the dealers, 20. I don't know what the number is.
Right.
You're still going to get people that are going to do things the way they've always done.
Right. I know. It's all you can do.
It's just what it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
If I'm with a big, let's call them a big box provider, for the lack of a better term, but one of the big names out there, and I've got 3, 4, 5 stores, and you come knocking on my door, and you say, hey, I'm here. I'm with Ascent. I'm founder of Ascent. I think I can do a better job. Okay. What is your pitch to me? If I'm with one of those big providers out there that we all know and love, we've heard, the names before, and here comes Adam Marburger with Ascent Dealer Services.
Yeah. So my pitch is never a pitch. So I'm never pitching. I want to get to know people intimately.
Yeah.
So if I'm calling on it, now I work on referrals only, so it's a little bit different.
Okay.
So when I'm
Wow.
meeting a dealer, it's typically an inbound lead or whatnot, personally.
Yeah. Somebody
But
at a
I've
dealer
got-
20 meeting that goes, hey, you
Yeah.
got to call Adam. Right.
Here's our value proposition is real simple. We're here to enhance every aspect of your F&I department.
Okay.
We're not greedy. We don't need all your business. Would we like all your business? Sure, we would. We're in business for business,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
We just want to help dealers grow. So it's finding out what the dealer's trying to accomplish. Where are they now, and where do they want to go?
Right.
And is their current provider getting them to where they want to go?
Okay.
A lot of times you find that it's the relationship that keeps the dealer.
Yeah.
A dealer can build a relationship with the provider, and the numbers can be garbage, but they've been best friends for 20 years, and it kind of somehow sticks.
Right.
But that's historically speaking.
Yeah.
But dealers today are making moves.
Yeah.
Dealers today are severing relationships that are
Right.
not serving one another.
Well, and at the end of the day, if I'm running right now $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 a copy, and my F&I manager's telling me that's all that we can get in here, and you just rattled off $2,000 a copy, and I'm doing a couple of hundred cars a month, I'm thinking to myself, I'm leaving a lot of money on the table, in excess of $1 million a year in potential gross profit. How much do I like that F&I company that I've been buddies with, okay, for the last 10, 15 years, whatever the case might be. And I think that's really where the rubber meets the road, isn't it?
It is.
What are you doing per copy, and are you happy with everything else, the support and such? But dealers, to your point, they want to see dollars more than anything, right?
They want to see dollars. And unfortunately, there's been a lack of transparency in the market. With reinsurance structures being very robust today, and these new dealer-owned warranty structures, everything we do is transparent now. Should be transparent.
Yeah.
Back in the day, these dealers are paying these massive admin fees.
Yeah.
And these big box, small box, doesn't matter. All the
sure.
They're making
sure.
all this money.
Sure.
They're not doing anything to help the dealership. I mean, there's agents out there that haven't been in the stores in years.
I know a couple of agents that have 2 high volume stores, and they make a very nice living.
Yeah.
And to your point, they're on the golf course every day.
Every day.
And it's hard to get them to even take on other clients.
And I'm not going to knock if that business model. I mean, if they can sleep at night, God bless. But it's about value. What can we bring the dealer in the form of value?
Yeah.
If you're going to partner with me and sell my F&I products, I'm going to make a commission on those products.
Yeah.
But I don't want that commission in vain. I want to sleep well at night. I want to work for our commission. I don't want to just receive a handout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the key, isn't it? I mean, you've got to partner. You've got to really partner with that dealer.
Amen.
And that F&I department, that F&I director, to say, let's get. If you're not at $2,000 a copy, you're better.
It's a lot, Jim.
And maybe you're at
It's a lot of
$2,000 a copy, and you're selling Toyotas in an area that it should be a quarter a copy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always room for improvement.
There's always room for an improvement, and it's really hard. I mean, what we do is not easy.
No.
Growing an F&I department, I mean, on the surface level, there's a few things you need to grow it,
Yeah.
but there's personalities you got to deal with.
That's right.
There's sometimes you go into a store where the GM kind of blocks the things you're trying to do, and you got to maneuver personalities. It's not an easy task.
No, it's not.
But it's worth it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no question about it. Will you help dealers even with their personnel if they say, hey, I got an F&I manager that, I think they're just, it's time. We got to make a change here for whatever reason. Maybe they've been there too long. Maybe they just are sold that $1,200 a copy is the number. And will you actually help the dealer find the right person for that gig?
Recruiting's important.
Yeah.
Recruiting's really, really important. And we are very involved in the personnel.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of the interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
We
Oh, wow.
We feel that people let themselves go. We don't ever let anyone else go. I mean, nobody gets blindsided when we have to part ways. They know well in advance. This is the metrics. Here's where we're at.
Right. Here's the training. Here's the support.
Yeah.
Right.
It's knowing and it's doing.
Right.
Right. We handle the knowing and then we work on the doing as well.
Right.
But if they're unable to hit the mark or unable to work towards hitting the mark, then they let themselves go and we help replace that individual.
That's right. And that sometimes that's what happens.
It's business.
And as we all know, you can change the manager of a ball team, and guess what? Bring home the Super Bowl that year. And a lot of departments do have 3, 4, 5 closers or F&I managers or what have you, and they got that director. But sometimes the director is the problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
No question
I've
about it.
seen it a lot.
So final thoughts. What do you want to leave our audience with, for the dealers that are listening, for the GMs that are listening, that feel that there might be some more room here that we can grow in F&I? What do you want to leave them with?
This is easy for me because I've been having lots of conversations with a lot of people. It goes down to your people and the culture that we're creating.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the retail customer to pay more and more often and then retain them in service, you got to create this culture.
Yeah.
It starts with personal development and it starts with loving and serving people.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about servant leadership. So I challenge dealers, take a look at your personnel, go to the top. As the dealer principal, what are you doing to serve the GM to make the GM feel very special? What is the GM then doing to work with sales managers and GSMs and their management team to make them feel, it's a trickle down. It goes from the dealer principal all the way down. So it's about leadership. Yeah. We have to make people feel special, wanted, and that, my friend, makes more money than anything, is serving people.
No question.
It's all about serving.
Yeah, I agree. Adam Marburger, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the great shows that you give our audience.
It's fun.
Keep it up. Great. Thanks.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.